Okay, you found the quick review, and this is finding zeros of a polynomial function. This could also be solving a polynomial equation. All right, same idea. Finding zeros and solving is exactly the same concept, and you would do exactly the same thing. All right, what I have to do is I have to factor this. Now that's tricky because this polynomial doesn't factor into two binomials. And because it doesn't factor into two binomials, then I have to deal with finding a factor. Okay, so finding a factor is a factor of the last number, the constant. Okay, so the constant alone gives me possible binomial factors: x minus 1, x plus 15, x plus 1, x minus 15, x minus 3, x plus 5, x plus 3, x minus 3. Okay, that should be an x plus 3, x minus 5, right? No problem. Fix that up. Okay, but then also I have that front coefficient of 2. So that front coefficient gives me possibilities: 2x minus 1, 2x plus 15, 2x plus 1, 2x minus 15, 2x minus 3, 2x plus 5, 2x plus 3, 2x minus 5. All of these are possible factors. So how do I find a factor that divides in? I have to use the remainder theorem. So first thing I'm going to do is I like to use ones because they're easy. And I like the x minus 1 because it's real easy. So remember, I'm going to do f of 1. So everywhere where the variable is, I'm going to put in 1, right? Everywhere where the variable is, I'm going to put in 1. All right, so 1 goes there and there and there. So look what I get. 1 cubed is 1 times 2 is 2. 1 squared is 1, so you get negative 1, negative 16 plus 15. And guess what? You end up with 0. Perfect. I found a factor on my first try. Okay, so I already know a 0. I already know that x minus 1 is a factor, and therefore I know one of my solutions is x equal 1, or one of my zeros is x equal 1. And I know I've got this point right there. Okay? To get the other ones, I'm going to use long division. So I'm going to take that x minus 1, and I'm going to divide it into the original. 2x cubed minus x squared minus 16x plus 15. Okay, remember, front divided by front. So I get a 2x squared. Distribute. X times 2x squared, 2x cubed. Negative 1 times 2x squared, negative 2x squared. And remember to subtract, right? Distribute your negative. This will be a positive x squared. I have one negative and two positives. Bring down the negative 16. All right, don't forget front divided by front. X squared divided by x is a positive x. Distribute. X times x, x squared. Negative 1 times x, negative x. Don't forget to subtract. Okay, you got 16. That's a 16x. You have negative 16x and a positive 1x for a total of negative 15x. Bring down the positive 15. Front divided by front. And so this is a negative 15. X times negative 15 is negative 15x. Negative 1 times negative 15 is positive 15. And when you subtract them, you get 0. And I already knew I was going to get 0 because I used the remainder 0, the 0 remainder factor, right? Okay. So here's where I'm at right now. And I know it's a little complicated, but that's okay. We can handle it. We have this factor, and now I'm going to take the 2x squared plus x minus 15. I'm going to see if I can factor this. 2x and x. I'm thinking 3 and 5. 3 and 5. Yeah, 3 and 5. I need the 6, 2 times 3, right, outers, to be positive, and the 5 to be negative to give me a positive one in the middle. Yeah, that's the factoring of it. And by the way, notice I had these factors listed up here. I should have had a 2x minus 5, and I do. And I should have had an x plus 3, and I do. So here's really where I'm at. And again, I know my space a little limited. Let me move this up. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, let's get fixed up here. Okay, so here's where I'm at. Let me just leave it where it is. So I've got this x minus 1, really, times the 2x minus 5 times the x plus 3. So finishing off the zeros, this one gives me a 0 of x equals 5 halves, right? Add a positive 5 to both sides, divide by 2. And this one gives me a 0 of x equals negative 3. Again, set it equal to 0, move the 3 to the other side. So I have a 0 at negative 3, and I have a 0 at 5 halves, which is 2 and 1/2, which is right there. Now, if I were to further graph this, I would use those zeros. I would use an XY chart to fill in the gaps, and I'd be able to graph it. But that, all it asked me for were the zeros, and so I found those zeros. X equal 1, x equal 5 halves, x equal negative 3. So again, that would be the exact same thing, watch now, as if they gave you originally the equation 0 equals 2x cubed and wanted you to solve. Again, it would be x equal 1, x equal 5 halves, x equal negative 3.